Students, in last lecture we have already discussed some of the important points of surface chemistry. Now we are going to solve some of the important MCQs based on the chapter surface chemistry. So let's begin. Our first question is, which of the following factor affect the adsorption of a gas on solid? Critical temperature, temperature of the gas, pressure of the gas, all of them. Basically all of them. Why so? Because we have seen as the critical temperature increases, okay, so what will happen? The adsorption, basically liquefaction of the gas will decrease. Okay, higher the critical temperature, less will be the liquefaction. Okay, whenever we are talking about the temperature of the gas, as adsorption is an exothermic process, if you increase the temperature it will go in reversible direction. Okay, that is deabsorption is going to take place. And pressure of the gas, more the pressure of the gas, more it will be liquefied and more will be the adsorption. So the answer is all of them. Okay, now let's move to the next question. The next question is, the heat of physio adsorption lie in the range of, basically it lie in the range of 20 to 40 kilojoules per mole. Okay, and whereas chemosopism lie in the range of 40 to 200 kilojoules per mole. So the correct answer is 20 to 40 kilojoules per mole. Next question, which of the following is not a gel? Okay, whenever we are talking about gel, gel is a form of emulsion. So cheese is a form of gel, jelly is a form of gel, whereas curd is also a form of gel, but milk is not a form of gel. Okay, so the correct answer is milk. Fourth question, which of the following is used to adsorb water? As I've already discussed in my lecture, okay, so the pouches which we basically find in the new purse or new bags we purchase, that pouches consist of silica gel, which basically absorb the water, absorb the moisture. So the answer is silica gel. Okay, next question. An emulsion is a colloidal system of, okay, an emulsion is basically the colloidal system of two liquids. Clear? Okay, these are some of the factual question, very easy to answer because this chapter is very easy to answer. No very less numericals or no numericals is asked, and mostly the factual questions are asked in this chapter. Okay, next question, which of the following is lyophobic colloids? We have already seen what is lyophobic and lyophilic. Lyophobic colloids are those colloids in which the dispersion phase has no affinity towards dispersion medium. What I'm saying, it has no affinity towards dispersion medium. Okay, so in case of gelatin, the dispersion medium and dispersion phase have the affinity. In case of starch also, and in case of gum arabic also. So the correct answer is sulfur. Basically sulfur is lyophilic. Okay, it has great affinity with the dispersed medium, but whereas the other three, they do not have the affinity towards the dispersed medium. Okay, next question, the nature of bonding force in adsorption is, basically whenever adsorption we are talking about, it is categorized into two types. One is physical adsorption and the second one is chemical adsorption. Okay, so whenever we are talking about that, in physical adsorption there is the van der Waals forces taking place. Okay, so van der Waals forces is responsible for the bonding, whereas in chemical adsorption you can see that the chemical bonding is responsible for the bonding. Okay, so chemical bonding is present over here. Okay, and over here physical van der Waals forces is present. Okay, so the answer is not that purely physical such as van der Waals forces. Second one, no, purely no, we can say in case of physical adsorption there is van der Waals, so we can't say it is purely chemical. Okay, and both chemical and physical, yes, we can say that both chemical and physical are present. Clear? Okay, now next question, the Tyndall effect associated with the colloidal particle is due to, whenever a beam of light is put on a colloidal solution, okay, that is going to show the path of the light. The path of the light is shown due to scattering of light. Okay, the path is shown due to scattering of light. So the Tyndall effect associated with the colloidal particle is due to scattering of light. Next is which of the following is not applicable to chemosophism. Now chemosophism, whenever we are going to talk about chemosophism, yes, it has a its heat of adsorption is high. Okay, as we have already seen in the first in the third question itself. So the heats of adsorption is almost ranging from 40 to 200 kilojoules. So it is right. So it requires high adsorption heat. Okay, it take place at high temperature. Yes, it take place at high temperature because the heat of adsorption is more, and it do form the monolayer because physical adsorption forms the multi-layer. So chemical adsorption basically forms the monomolecular layer. So the correct answer is it it is reversible. So reversible physical adsorption is reversible in nature, whereas chemical adsorption or chemioadsorption is not reversible in nature. So the correct answer is it is reversible. Okay. Next question. All colloids are what now? Basically, what are colloids? Are they suspension of one phase into another, or they are two phases system, or they contain only water soluble particles, or are they true solution? No, they are not true solution, because whenever we are going to classify the mixture is classified into suspension, true solution and colloidal solution. So they are not true solution. Okay, they contain only water soluble particle. No, sometimes they may be soluble in oil also. Okay, so it is not that. Basically there are various types of colloid, that is gas in gas, liquid in liquid, various types. So we can't say that they are only soluble in water particles. Okay, and are suspension of one phase into another. No, they are not suspension. Okay, so this is also not the correct answer. The correct answer is they are two phase system. Basically the phase two phases which it consists of is dispersed phase and it is dispersed medium. Okay, so colloidal are two phase system. Clear? Now the next question. Colloids are purified by. Now what are the various process by which colloid can be purified? Condensation, we can't say really condensation. By condensation we cannot purify the colloids. For example, if we take milk and we condense milk, no, we cannot condense separate the or purify the colloid. Okay, or peptization, coagulation, or dialysis. So which of the following can be used for purification of colloids? Okay, so it is purified by the process of pepti peptization. Okay, because other do not apply to this. Basically it is used for separation. Okay, now next question. Milk is an example of. What is the milk example of? Is it an emulsion, suspension, foam? No, it is not a foam. Foam is basically what we can say, solid in gas. Okay, sol is basically solution, so it is not the one, and suspension is not the answer. The correct answer is emulsion. Emulsion, because milk is an example of liquid in liquid type of colloid, so it is emulsion. Next question. Fog is a colloidal system of. Is it gas in liquid, or liquid in gas in gas, or gas in solid? Okay, so what is a fog? Fog is emulsion of which of the following things? Is it gas in liquid, or is it liquid in gas? Basically whenever we are talking about fog is the form of water vapor present in the air, so it is liquid in the gas type of colloidal solution. Okay. Next question. When a colloidal solution is observed under ultra microscope, why? Basically when a colloidal solution can only be observed under the ultra microscope. Why it is done so? Because no, it do not show the scattering of light. It Basically, shape of colloidal particle is also not determined, nor the relative size of colloidal particle. The size of colloidal particle are basically we observe the size of colloidal particle under the ultramicroscope. Question number 15. The electrical charge on the colloidal particle is indicated by. Basically, Brownian effect is responsible for showing that there is some kind of movement in the colloidal particle. Ultramicroscope is used to find the size of colloidal particle. Okay, so the correct answer is electrophoresis. Electrophoresis is basically the correct answer is electrophoresis, because this is the process where the charge, electrical charge on colloidal particle can be indicated. Okay. Next question is, crystalloids differ from colloidal mainly in respect of electrical behavior? No, because both consist of charges. Particle nature, particle size, solubility, both are soluble. Okay, so particle nature, no, particle nature, it is particle size. Crystalloids may differ from colloids based on their particle size. Next question, adsorption is a multi-layer in case of, we have discussed that adsorption are of two type. One is physical adsorption, while the other one is chemical adsorption. When we are talking about that, we know the chemical adsorption is of monomolecular layer. It is of monomolecular layer, whereas physical adsorption is of multimolecular layer. Okay, so adsorption is multimolecular in case of physical adsorption. Okay. Now question number 18, the ability of iron to bring about coagulation of a given colloidal depend upon. Okay, so the question is, what the ability of an ion to bring about coagulation of a given colloids depend upon its charge, the sign of charge alone, the magnitude of its charge, both the magnitude and sign of the charge. Basically, the ability of iron to bring about coagulation depends upon both the magnitude and the sign of the charge. 19th, which gas will be adsorbed on a solid in a greater extent? A gas having non-polar molecule, a gas having highest critical temperature, a gas having lowest critical temperature, a gas having highest critical pressure. So basically, it will lie between critical temperature. Do remember that. Why do I say that critical temperature? So when we have learned about the factors affecting the colloidal solution, okay, we have learned about the factors which affect the basically colloidal solution. One of them is temperature. Okay, so temperature, whenever I am talking about temperature, that is critical temperature. So what do you understand by critical temperature basically? Okay, so does it has highest critical temperature or does it has lowest critical temperature? So whenever we are going to talk about critical temperature, do remember that more the critical temperature, less is the process of liquefaction. Okay, what I am saying, higher the critical temperature, that higher will be the critical temperature, more will be liquefaction. Okay, so it will easily liquefy, and less will be the critical temperature, less will be easily it will liquefy. So highest the critical temperature, highest will be liquefaction, and highest will be the adsorption of gas on the solid. So the correct answer is a gas having highest critical temperature. Now the next question, colloidal particle in a sol can be coagulated by. Okay, basically how this colloidal particle in a sol is coagulated? By heating it, by adding an electrode, by adding oppositely charged sol, or any of the above. It is by adding an electrolyte. By adding a suitable electrolyte, colloidal particle in a sol can be coagulated. Okay, so this was some of the easy and the important question related to the chapter surface chemistry. Okay, so practice more questions. Thank you, class.